This channel creates true crime documentaries, crime analysis, and educational storytelling based on publicly available information, news reports, police documents, and historical records. All content is produced for educational, informational, and documentary purposes only. We do not promote violence, criminal activity, or hate of any kind. Every case is presented with respect to victims, families, and communities affected. The goal of this channel is to inform, raise awareness, and document real events, not to glorify or encourage harmful behavior. All persons mentioned are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Names, dates, and details are based on research, and some information may be incomplete or subject to updates. Viewer discretion is advised due to the nature of true crime content. If you enjoyed true crime stories, gang history, criminal psychology, and real-life cases, please subscribe for more verified and well-researched videos.
On a cold December night in 1982, two innocent men chased after what they thought were neighborhood troublemakers. Minutes later, their bodies would be lying on the pavement of a dead-end street, surrounded, cornered, and executed by 8 armed gang members seeking revenge for a crime the victims never committed. This single night would change Los Angeles forever. A mistake, a chase, and a deadly ambush that exposed one of the city's most ruthless Filipino-American street gangs, the Satanas, the STS. This is America Gang War, and tonight we take you deep inside the double homicide that transformed a local street gang into a symbol of fear, violence, and chaos. Stay locked in, because what you're about to hear is not just a story of gang revenge. It's the story of how innocent blood can ignite a war. Los Angeles in the early 1980s was a powder keg. The crack epidemic was rising. Territorial lines were shifting every month. Asian American gangs were emerging, fighting for identity, survival, and respect in a city dominated by Black and Latino crews. Amid this chaos, the Satanas, a Filipino-American gang, was carving out its name with brutal precision. Originally formed in the late 1970s in the LA school system, STS grew fast, spreading from neighborhood to neighborhood. They were young, they were angry, and they were organized. Their rivals, the Avenues, a Hispanic gang with deep roots in Northeast LA. And when one Satanas member was killed in late 1982, everything spiraled. This wasn't a turf dispute anymore, it was personal. And revenge was coming. On December 8th, 1982, 8 Satanas members climbed into 2 cars, and they say their mission was simple: find an Avenue member, make them pay. They cruised through Highland Park and Cypress Park, territories with Avenue's presence. The mood inside those cars was deadly. No jokes, no laughter, just the weight of vengeance. Around 10:30 p.m., one member fired shots near the home of Francisco Gomez, a quiet, hard-working man with 0 gang ties. The gunfire woke him up. He stepped outside. He saw the car speeding off, and like any protective neighbor would, he followed. Inside his car was his friend, Luis Silva. No weapons, no armor, just 2 men trying to see who was shooting in their neighborhood. They didn't know they were driving straight into a trap. The Satanas cars realized they were being followed. To them, this wasn't 2 innocent men, this was the enemy chasing back. So they made a coordinated U-turn into a narrow residential dead end. Games and Silva followed, thinking the cars were stuck. And then it happened. Both Satanas cars stopped, doors flew open, 8 men stepped out armed, angry, and ready to kill. Games barely had time to react before a bullet struck him in the head. Silva ran for his life, but he didn't make it past 10 steps. The entire ambush lasted less than 15 seconds. The shooters got back in their cars and disappeared into the night. When LAPD arrived at the inn, they found a scene that shocked even veteran officers. 2 dead men, no gang tattoos, no weapons, just regular citizens. Detectives knew instantly this was bigger than a simple homicide. The community was terrified. The media circled the neighborhood, and pressure from City Hall hit fast. Within days, anonymous tips came in, names were whispered, cars were described, faces were matched, and for the first time, Satanas A gang usually operating in the shadows was on the Los Angeles police radar in a very public way. A multi-agency manhunt began. The investigation eventually led to the arrest of 8 Satanas members, young, Filipino-American, most barely adults. Each had a role. Shooters, drivers, lookouts, decision makers, detectives pieced together the story through witness testimonies, ballistic evidence, gang informants, forensic mapping of the ambush. The case was airtight. In court, prosecutors painted STS as cold-blooded executioners. The defense argued mistaken identity, but the jury didn't buy it. All 8 men were convicted, and the Satanas name was burned into Los Angeles history. The murders had consequences beyond the courtroom. For the first time, Filipino-American gangs were no longer seen as small youth crews. They became recognized as violent and dangerous forces in LA's gang landscape. Other Asian gangs like Bahala Na Gang, BNG, entered heated conflicts with STS. Territory disputes escalated, school shootings and retaliations increased. And in 1989, another public killing, the shooting of rival Manuel Rodriguez in front of a high school, only added fuel to the fire. The violence didn't stop, it evolved. The double murder of Gamas and Silva still stands as one of the most tragic examples of mistaken identity in LA gang history. It sparked new LAPD, gang task forces, community anti-violence programs, increased monitoring of Filipino-American gangs, wider public awareness of Asian gang activity in LA, but for the families of Games and Silva, none of that brought closure. 2 innocent lives were gone, 2 families were shattered, all because 8 young men chose revenge over reason. The story of the Satanas Gang is violent, it's tragic, and it's a reminder of how quickly revenge can destroy not just enemies, but innocent people caught in the shadows. If you're watching this, understand this one truth: gang wars never end clean. They leave bodies, families, and communities broken behind them. This has been America Gang War. Your home for deep dive stories into the real, unfiltered history of American street gangs. If you want more stories like this, make sure you like, subscribe, and drop a comment on what city or gang you want covered next. Until next time, stay safe, stay aware, and stay out of the crossfire.